about a 30-second lag. So, hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, we are now live on YouTube, and my name is Ron King, and I'm the director of this little movie called Rose is a Rose is a Rose. And tonight we have some very special guests joining us for a little Q&A with the cast members, and very excited about that. Plus Dan Hagen, who was not only a cast member but also the co-writer of the movie. And you know, before we get started, I'd just like to say that working on this film was such a treat. Everybody on the movie was just wonderful to work with. We had a terrific cast, and we had an amazing crew as well. Everybody in the crew was fantastic. And we had a lot of fun in post-production as well, working through getting all the music where we wanted it, and all the editing and little touches we had to do to get it finished. And then the movie went out to film festivals, and it did pretty well out there. We actually won an award, which was nice. And we've now just posted the film for viewing for everybody for the last couple of days, and we've been getting some very, very positive response. And you cast members should know about that, because people are loving the movie. They're loving your performances. So first, I'd like to just have everybody introduce themselves and mention which part you played.
Me first?
Dan Allison?
I think you first.
Your head goes on that side.
All right. I'm Allison Martin, and I play Dan's wife and many other characters.
Dan Hagen, I play Davey West.
Okay, Dan, can you move closer to let me see if it makes any difference for your audio. Say something now.
I'm Dan Hagen, I play Davey West.
That's a little bit better. Okay, good. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol Rocketell, and I played Elder Rose. I don't know why.
Ben, who are you?
Hi, my name is Ben Horowitz, and I played Jake.
All right. And Alana?
I'm Alana Dietz, and I played Young Rose.
Okay, great. Well, we actually have somebody online for sure watching us right now. Mr. Coconuts is with us, so that's nice. Hello, Mr. Coconuts. I saw your comment earlier. Appreciate that. Yes, Pat Tallman, we love her, and we love everybody else in the cast. Hopefully, Pat will be joining us soon. And in the meantime, we're all here, and we've got some other cast members coming in about 20 minutes or so. So let me start with Dan. Dan, I surprised you with this script several years ago. It was something that I was working on. Oh, I think we might have Pat here. Let me just scroll down and see if that's her. Yes, it is. Okay, let me add Pat in. Patricia Tallman.
Hey, I was in the waiting room. I was waiting for you to add me.
Oh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Took a minute to get. Can you introduce yourself and let us know who you played?
Can you see me? Because I see black.
I can see you, and you are on YouTube.
Okay. All right, cool. Hi, I'm Patricia Tallman, and I went to school with Ron King a few years ago. I played Just Rose.
Oh, I heard another somebody joining us in the background there. Avery Edits has joined us as well. Hello, good to see you. Dan, we were back to you. I just wanted to quickly touch on the genesis of the project. I passed you a script, and I said that I was interested in having you play the lead. And what did you think when you saw the script?
I said, okay, but I'd like to write a little rewrite with you. And he said, okay. So
A little bit closer.
we did a rewrite of it.
I nailed it.
It was 10 pages, and I turned it into 35 pages. So I apologize for those extra pages, but I thought I could cast all our friends that night.
Yeah, I think I heard most of that. Dan was saying that I handed him a 12-page script, and after he and I rewrote it, it turned into a 35-page script. We tried to make smaller by shrinking the type down, but it didn't really get past the people who were reading it. Okay, let's move on. Allison has left the building. Carol, tell us a little bit about what you thought of the character of Elder Rose when you read it.
Oh, I thought it was like candy. I loved it. It was so much fun. I loved the way the character was written, so you didn't really know what happened to the husband, except you knew it wasn't good. And I loved it. Dan and I had worked together years ago at Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater in Jupiter, Florida. So when he wanted me to take a look at the script, well, actually, I think we had a reading first, didn't we?
That's right. Yes, we did have a reading.
Right.
When it was in development.
At their house. And that's when I thought, oh, I really want to play this part. So.
It was
I'm
James
so glad you
Kirkwood's,
did, Carol.
James
Go ahead.
Kirkwood's last play that we were in together. He wrote a chorus line. It was called Stage Stuck. And I played the young playwright, and Carol, you were the leading lady. Do you remember the line in the play that had everybody drop their forks into their
I think you do. What was it?
was a young boy came on stage, and the old what is it? The grand dame of the theater goes, "Come here and give the old cunt a great big hug." And people in the
It closed after 2 performances, I think, wasn't it?
2 weeks of
Or was it
performances.
It was that line, I think.
They asked us to leave. Burt Reynolds asked us to leave.
Yeah.
And Rip Taylor came and did his stand-up.
That's right. That's right.
But I got to meet Carol. So I
Which
think
was
you spent
the best part
most of
of
the time tied up on stage. Remember being tied up?
This
No?
sounds so wrong.
Yeah, I think she got back at you when we filmed this one, Dan. She
Yeah.
tried to grab you by the gullet.
Yeah, that was it.
Allison, let me ask you, what's it like to play several different characters in one movie?
Well, you made it easy, Ron. You actually did. I thought you really helped me through some of it because I was a little concerned. And how great was the makeup person for that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, she looked like she was 12. And I was like, she's not, I look a little like a man anyway, but I thought she's never going to do it. And I have to tell you, she was great. Didn't you think so?
Absolutely.
She was fantastic. And we hired her actually on the next movie that I did as well. And she did a great job on that too.
And I didn't want to take the man makeup off.
She wore it
When
home.
I wore it home, I stopped at a 7-Eleven. It was nice. I liked it.
You stopped at the 7-Eleven.
I wanted to see, I wanted to see. It was good. It was cool.
Were you treated differently?
Oh, yes. Yes. Otherwise, like I'm an old lady, and here I was sort of an odd man. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Ron, is our sound better now?
It's much better. Thank you so much,
I
Dan.
plugged in a microphone.
Okay, Pat. Let's.
Yeah.
I'm sort of going across here, and then on my screen, I'm just going in order that I'm seeing it. Pat, Dan and I reached out to you about working on this movie. You got the script. What did you think? What attracted you to it? Why did you want to do it?
I wanted to do it because of you, actually. I didn't before I even read the script.
Oh,
To be honest, I mean, Ron King's asking me to do a thing, so I was like, sure,
that's great.
I'm
Thank
in.
you.
Oh, of course. And then I read it and I loved it, and I loved the concept of it. I thought it was so clever with Rose and a Rose and a Rose, and just the idea of middle-aged love, trying to search to find that love. It's nice to have our stories shared that in midlife there is love. There's still a lot of it, and I loved that he kept trying, and he, in spite of everything, was just staying in his own goofy way. Dan, you made it so fun. You kept that hope was alive. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. And then even after our scene, when you end up like chatting up Toy's character, it was so sweet. It was so sweet.
We shot that scene first. You were first up.
Is that true? Really?
Yes. So we had to go back.
Well, I remember when we were rehearsing, Pat, when you and Dan were working and working on the scenes, that I had a really, really hard time because I would be watching the scenes and I was just like, I just wanted to laugh so hard while you guys were working. I had to totally restrain myself because it would have screwed up the rehearsal. But
Dan is hysterical. It's true. It's try to.
Well, both of you guys have great comic timing. I mean, you may be, known for other things, but in this one, I think you guys are just lovely.
Well, thank you for giving me the chance to have a little comedy. That's really wonderful because I don't normally. You're right. I haven't had that much in my life.
And we had one extra in the restaurant, and then he had to leave at lunch. So then there was nobody in the restaurant. It looked like it was post-COVID. There's nobody in this restaurant. Everyone was social distancing.
Yeah, there's a circular shot in that where we were watching Dan and Pat have their scene, and then there's nobody else in the background except for one person, except for Toy.
I think it was the makeup lady's husband. He had to go to work.
Yeah, he had to go to work, so we had to shoot around that.
Well, you're getting the inside poop, people. This is what it's like making a movie.
It's true.
It is
inside poop.
It is not easy.
Ben, tell us what it was like. How many films had you done up to now? What was your experience like? What did you like about your character?
I had done a few independent things and like some web series stuff, but me and Dan met because we did a play with Alana, and so we had developed this rapport because we were just backstage a lot together, so we had to, just make conversation. So
I was backstage with Ben for 2 hours. I was going, how does an Uber work? Really? What do you do? And Ben had to fill me in how that all worked.
Yeah, so so then he asked me, he's like, I got the script. And he told me about it. I thought it was a really funny idea. I read the script, and I was really happy to be involved. It was a really fun time.
Yeah. One of the things about Ben that really bothered me is I used to do acting a long time ago, and I would work really hard on the text and try to get it right. But Ben, it was like you'd give him some pages, and I said, so Ben, have you had a chance to work on the script at all? And he said, yeah, I memorized it on the way over. How do you do that? So Ben totally put me to shame.
No.
But great to work with.
Everyone loves him.
And the song, they love you with Ben singing too. And we had no idea Ben could sing because I was supposed to sing. And I said, well, Ben can sing much better. Let's give him a song.
Yeah. I love those moments in the film where you guys are out at the lake and
the lake scene was very fun to film. It was really nice scenery. And the cool thing about the lake was that it was green.
It was. We tried to change the color a little bit.
It was what?
We had to color correct that lake.
a little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the Green Lake.
Oh yeah.
It's also the lake Andy Griffith shot his opening scene in. So
that's right. Andy Griffith's
with Opie with the fishing pole.
You
ever heard that?
Fishing. And
that lake
Pat, you also like some Star Trek history. I think they shot some Star Trek scenes up there too. It's like this one little lake in the middle of Los Angeles, and everybody goes up there to film stuff if they need an outdoor scene. So, Alana, tell us a little bit. We, as Ben mentioned, I actually saw Ben and Dan in a play that you directed, which was terrific. And then you auditioned for the film, and I was super excited that you were going to work in it. And what was it like for you? What drew you to the character? Why did you want to do it?
Yeah, well, I've actually directed 4 of the 5 actors on this screen now, which is kind of wild. But I'd worked with Dan Lynch, but always as a director, and I just think he's the funniest, most delightful human. And so when he asked me if I'd be interested, I I was really excited to read it, and I thought the script was so heartfelt and charming and sweet and really unique. And I love the role. I love playing people that are just a little bit off. There's just like a little something going on that you're like, what? Person's not quite what they seem. And so I liked delving into that and, getting to play kind of a bad girl, but also with sort of a dark undercurrent that you don't really get to see on the screen, but it gave me something to play with and work with behind the scenes. And it was just fun to play with Dan. To act with Dan. I never get to act with him. I'm always directing him.
That's right. That was our only acting time.
Really?
Yeah, I remember, Dan, that was one of the developments of the script when we did that reading that Carol was talking about, which was during the development process. There was another scene in there which was a little bit darker, or some comments about that had to do with young Rose's character, but we sort of stayed away from that and let that be backstory, which I think, Alana, you did a fantastic job of keeping that in there in the character, so that was great.
I'm sorry, there's a plane flying overhead, and our internet goes wonky.
Oh, okay. I did not hear the plane. Well,
kids are probably playing video games.
Let me go see.
Yeah. Now let's see. We've got people watching, which is great.
I'm sorry. If you asked me a question, I didn't hear it because the internet cut out, and so Brady's probably.
He's in character.
Yeah, that'll do it.
He's totally in character.
He'll have to log back in. We'll wait for him. By the way, Toy, I see you waiting. Thank you. We'll get you in here shortly. Let's see. I'm having some comments come in here. Let me read them out to you, or mention what they're saying. Avery says that the real life dynamic definitely showed through. Mr. Coconut said, yes, the characters' interactions were so natural on film. You knew they must have had a great time making it. It shows.
Great.
And there were a lot of intriguing elements to her character, says Avery. And Kevin says, like during the dinner. Kevin Wilson says, hi, Pat, to you.
Hi, Kevin. I can't.
Well, Avery says, just in general, there's always felt like there was more to her. I'm not sure exactly who we're talking about, but in my
think he's talking about younger Rose.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely much more to her, to younger Rose, but in fact, there was, in a way, much more to all the. Oh, here comes Dan. Dan, I have to add him in. Here he comes. Okay, we lost you there for a second, Dan.
There.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, we had a little dropout.
Yeah.
Amelia's working Cartoon Network, so she's got to get online, and Brady has to, shoot aliens on his video game. So.
Yeah, I should mention
that's why
that Amelia, who Dan just mentioned, is Dan and Allison's daughter, and she was the one who designed the poster for us.
Oh.
And she did a fantastic job. We did it as a drawing as opposed to photographs, which could have led the audience to believe it was a cartoon, but it wasn't a cartoon. My idea behind that was that it would sort of cut through the clutter a little bit and hopefully get people to recognize it. But she did a fantastic job, and she's a really good artist and animator, so you should definitely check her website out at some point.
All in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Dan, you were very heavily involved in making the movie. Do you have any questions for our illustrious cast members here?
Did anybody else know who Alison Bechdel was and her Bechdel test?
Yes.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, Al.
Why?
We have one yet.
A friend of mine.
You have to win something.
Oh, you win a prize. Because a friend of mine said, what was that thing about Fun Home at the end? And I had to explain the Bechdel test. Maybe Alana can explain it better than I did.
Are you guys?
The Bechdel test is just two women. If you put it onto a movie, is there a scene where at least two women are talking about something other than a man? That's the whole test.
Right.
What
yes, and Dan was
That's
very,
right.
very.
Ron and I got through the whole script. And
go ahead, Dan.
that we got through the whole script and realized we didn't have two women talking to each other. So we added the librarian and Allison's character talking. But then Ron decided it would go better after the credits than in the movie. So that was the Bechdel test. But a friend of mine saw it in New York.
Oh, Dan, your
What's that?
Your bit stream is a little bit choppy, but we're still with you. We see you.
Yeah.
Just that a friend saw it and wanted to know what that was, and so I was curious if anybody else.
Okay, I think we're
How's
seeing
their bit stream now?
people on our
They're gone.
stream
They're
watching right
frozen.
now are familiar with the Bechdel test. So yes, some folks do know what it is.
Okay, great.
Yay.
Carol,
That was my question.
do you have any other questions, Dan?
Do I
Nope,
have
for now.
Carol, you've been doing been in the business for quite a long time.
Uh-huh.
I've always found that to be amazing. I mean, the fact that you were on Bonanza is amazing to me.
Oh, it's so cool.
Bonanza.
Where were you when you got started? Were you in New York or LA, or where were you?
I actually started acting in San Francisco at the Actors Workshop, which was a very prestigious at that particular time repertory company. And then I got a job in a play that was pre-Broadway show that was supposed to go to New York, and it was really awful, and it folded. So it didn't go to New York. And I just decided that, well, I had a boyfriend, so I had to come to Los Angeles where he lived. And then I started doing, TV, and then I got the road company, the national tour of The Odd Couple. So then I had a wonderful time, 3 months of going all over the country, which was wonderful. And I stayed in LA, but when I got to be about 40, I started talking to my husband and saying, I have to go to New York. And he said, oh, yeah, sure. So for about 2 years, I said, if I wake up and I'm the age I am now and I didn't do that, I'm going to be really unhappy. Okay. Well, how long are you going to go for? Can't do that. I don't know. So I went to New York and got a job pretty fast doing Broadway Bound on Broadway.
Wow.
And it went on from there. And I've been incredibly lucky and very fortunate that I've been able to do what I dearly love to do pretty much all my life. So,
yeah. And
thank you for letting me be in this film, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I loved everybody I worked with, and it was great.
Well, we felt very fortunate to be able to work with you, Carol. And again, everybody's sense of humor on this is a little bit different, but it comes through in the performances so well. And Carol handled some very almost obscure seeming text and made it very personal and very, very funny. So I thought that was great. Pat, you've been you've done so many different things in your career, and you're doing other things now. I mean, what's it like to do so many different things? You've done stunt, you've done acting, you've done adventure leading. I mean, it's amazing. How do you do all this stuff?
It's just constantly reinventing is what it is, to stay relevant, I guess, is maybe a word. But I also wanted to say, Ron, that for the folks that maybe don't know the business very well, that your director is at the helm of the ship, and without the director, nothing works. And if you enjoyed the film, and it feels like a lot of people did, then it starts right with Ron. It starts with Ron. Because he put that project together, and then he and Dan created the project, and then all that chemistry and the family feeling and everything else. I mean, really, Ron, you guys did an amazing job to make that happen, because you put it together. So,
well, thank you. I mean, it was one of those things where I said, if I want to do something, I want to do something with people that I really enjoy being with, and then that was sort of the impetus of casting everybody. You know, let's bring in folks that you really want to spend some time with.
yeah.
And even though the shoot wasn't that long, it was still fun. I think every minute. We didn't have any major blow-ups that I can remember.
Hey, Ron.
No, but it is chemistry, isn't it? I mean, it's how we get on with everybody. And even though the crew is behind the camera, their energy is just as important. I mean, the guy behind the camera, if you're not getting along with him, it's a vibe. You know, so I don't know. You put together a wonderful team. So thanks for that. And it was a great experience working with everybody. I loved watching the film and being so overjoyed seeing Carol and Alana, and then Ben was so, the whole script came alive, and just a joy. It was a joy to watch. So thanks for that. And that's why we do this thing is because we love it. And I don't know. It's a magic that sometimes happens and sometimes doesn't happen. So we were talking about this, Glenn and I, the other day, just how, you can put together all these elements in a film, for instance, and you have great elements, but it just falls flat. Now, how can you spend all that money and the movie doesn't work? And you've got these stars, you have that director, and you have this writer, but it doesn't work. It is sort of an alchemy that happens, but it's hard work and it's magic. And you did that, Ron. You and Dan did that. No, you did.
Oh, thank you for that. I'm blessed to have worked with everybody. Alana,
Ron, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I saw you years and years and years ago in Pink Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So this is for you and Alana. Do you like acting or directing better?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer it real quickly. I've sort of moved along from acting. I'm not really pursuing acting right now. I'll do it when necessary, I guess is what you can call it. There is one film that I'm involved in as an actor, but it's in development, so we'll see where that goes. But the thing that I enjoy most about directing is being able to work with everybody, being able to work with the amazing actors, and also, like Pat was saying, the people behind the camera. I mean, for me, working with, I'm a photographer, also amateur photographer, so working with DPs and even the sound folks and the costume, the set design, the music, I'm just in awe of what these people do, and so excited and happy to work with them. So that's why I like directing, is because you get a chance to work with all these amazing people.
And, Alana, what about you?
I enjoy acting more. I find directing much more difficult and much more stressful and much higher pressure, but I also feel more accomplished about something I've directed than I do about something I've acted in usually, if it turns out okay. So it's a balance for me, but acting is like pure happiness for me. It's just it's uncomplicated. I just love doing it. And directing is trickier, but I keep doing it because at the end of the day, it feels more like something that's wholly me, because you touch everything as a director. You're in every element. But I've never directed for film. Someday.
That's right.
Well, I will say, Alana, that there was a moment in the movie that was your idea, which we put in there. I don't even know if you caught that, but it was the moment where Davey places the phone outside of your door, and then you open the door and grab your phone real quick. That was your idea. And I was like, that's perfect. We got to shoot that. So I just put a nice little button on the end of that scene.
Cool.
So Ben, how's it going? I know, Ben, that you also are doing some crazy song impressions and things on what's all that about? What are you doing there?
Oh, I wrote an Avenue Q parody song about quarantine.
Awesome.
I don't know if you know Avenue Q, but I wish I could go back to college. I wish I could get out of quarantine. And then for Schadenfreude, I have paranoia.
Oh, that's great.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, they're both on. Yeah, they're on my Instagram. I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to check some of these out. They're pretty crazy, but Ben's a little crazy anyway, so we're good with that.
That's right. That's right.
You know, it's been really wonderful talking. I'm going to see now. Let's see. Toy has been waiting. I'm going to let her come on. I'm going to have to ask one person to. Looks like someone's getting ready to have drinks.
Who's the waiter?
It's Glenn. It's Glenn.
Oh,
I thought the
Glenn.
service industry was.
Wait.
You can't have service industry.
Good to
Hi,
see you,
Glenn.
Glenn. Oh,
I'm
you
services here over at the Tallman House. So.
There he is.
Hello, everybody. So great to see all you guys. The film was amazing, and I just watched part of it again this morning. It's like, wow.
And
I love it.
Did you
I'll
see
see you
yourself?
guys.
Did you see yourself in the back this tiny? No.
He was the waiter in the scene that with Dan and I, and he got cut out, right?
Yeah. We're sad to see him
That's
go.
right. Well, that came during an audience preview that we did, and the DP, after seeing the cut that we did that day. So again, I'm getting ideas from everybody, from cast members, from crew members, and he said, you know, it really worked great if you just cut from this moment into a smash cut of him blasting the rose on the mirror. And I thought about it, and we were trying to cut some time out of the movie at that point. And I was like, let's try it. And the cut actually worked really well. So again, props to our DP, Justin, who, you know, you never know where the great ideas are going to come from. Carol, I'm going to ask you to bid us farewell. I'm going to bring Toy in, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And,
Good seeing everybody.
Carol.
Good to see you, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Bye.
bye-bye,
I'm
Carol.
riding my bike by your house.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining us. Okay, let's see if we can get Toy in here. See if this works. Toy, are you there, Toy?
Yes.
Oh.
Is my camera not
Anybody
working?
else for some reason. So if there's a question for me, just let me know.
Okay, I think I see Barbara waiting. I'm going to bring her in.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Barbara.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Toy, are you there? Or are you?
Yeah, no, that was me asking if you could hear me. I just don't know what's up with the video.
There might be a little button that shows the camera that you have to tap. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just black. Sorry, guys.
Okay, that's all right. You're with us in voice. Ben, I'm gonna bid you farewell, and I'm gonna bring in Dan and Allison again. Okay.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Ben. Check out Ben's
Hi,
stuff.
Ben.
Bye. See
Check
you.
out Ben's stuff online. It's really cool.
Yeah, I got to
Thank
find
you.
your Instagram.
I'll
Definitely.
send it to you. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's bring Dan and Allison back in. Okay.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, Toy.
Hello.
Can't see you, but we
Yeah,
can
no,
hear
I've morphed into a black box.
Yeah, it's quarantine time. As we all did, Alana.
you. Did Fred swallow your camera?
Yeah, I've been having some trouble with the camera actually, so.
Oh, that's okay. So, Toy, I'm just going to ask you the same thing I asked everybody else. You came to the audition, you did a fantastic audition, and then we offered you the part. And I mean, what attracted you to it? Were it just another job for you, or what did you like about it?
No, you know what? I never really get to play the love interest. I was like, oh, that's new. I should try it.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are, if people out there have seen the short, hopefully you have, but I do play the love interest at the end. So I was like, I should try that. See what it feels like. See what it feels like for size.
Well, it's sort of interesting because
You were very sweet.
yes. I mean, there's several love interests in the movie, right? I mean,
Yes.
almost everybody's a love interest in some way. except for maybe Mrs. Krushenko, Barbara.
Well, we don't know the backstory there either.
That's right.
You know.
Yes, we're finding out there's a lot of interesting backstories. Barbara, tell us a little bit about your experience working on the film. It was, I think it was a day, but what did you think of being on set? Oh, hello.
Oh, where'd you go?
There.
Toys
back.
gone. Pat's
The thing
mute.
that was so amazing was that Dan looked so familiar to me, and I looked familiar to him, and we couldn't figure it out. And then we realized we have the same voice agent for about 100 years.
Sandy
Andy.
Schnarr.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Star. And we know each other from voice. So anytime I get to do a character that has an accent, I'm in. I love it. So she was fun. Plus, I have some Russian background, so there we go.
Yeah. And you got to flick a cigarette at Dan as well.
And this was before all the Ukrainian stuff with Trump and
Oh, please don't go there. No. He who must not be named. Sorry.
Cool. And Barbara, you've done lots and lots of work in the business as well. And you do what you do, all different sorts of things, right? You do on-camera stuff. You do behind. You do voice work. You do. What do you do?
I
Tell
do
us
whatever they want me to do. I'm easy. Just hire me. I'll come. If you build it, I'll come. But it's interesting because one of the characters of Clone Wars was another Russian, was Mother Thousand. So who I was like a Maria Ospinskaya kind of character that I did for Lucas. So that's interesting. Yeah. So.
Oh, Clone Wars. I thought you said Phone Wars. I went, what?
No, not Phone Wars.
The clones.
Clone.
That's
Star
cool.
Wars, Clone Wars. Yeah.
Clone Wars. Yeah.
So
That's cool.
That's one.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. We're getting some nice comments from people. Let's see what they're saying. You are Glenn. Oh, Glenn. He was actually on screen a moment ago. He said you are all wonderful in this film.
Oh.
Thank you. I think Hugh Eston actually was there for a little while ago. I saw his name go by. Let me see if I can find that comment. Here it is. Hi, everybody. You all did great. Glad you passed the Bechdel test. Kind of. Kind of, he says, which is sort of right. It was there stuck in there at the very, very end. We didn't have an extensive scene between two women, but we'll do better with that. We'll do better with that for sure. And Avery said Barbara's character always made me laugh. And she said, oh, I still have to watch the Clone Wars. I'll be sure to look for that character when I do. She will look for that character.
Yeah.
And Kevin Wilson said he loves the Clone Wars. So, okay, so everybody on the chat line is having their own live stream as well, which is kind of fun. People are seeing this go by. Let's see here. Alana, do you have any questions for anybody that you'd like to pass on?
Well, I'm curious. I mean, Dan, you talked a little bit about the rewrite and how much more the film expanded, but I'm curious about how shared it was, the work was between you and Ron. Both of you can answer this after it got delivered into your hands. Like, did you guys split the work in the following drafts?
I took the characters and sort of expanded them because I wanted to know more about all the characters Ron had sketched in, like what happened, why was he going out on these dates? So then I came up with the idea that he had lost his wife, and maybe that's sort of what has propelled him back into the thing. And then I would when I brought the 35 pages to Ron, I said, okay, let's go through this together. I think we went to UCLA garden somewhere, some park, and sat there and went through it line by line and said, well, would they say that? What's a good name for a restaurant? And we just sort of, that was my memory of the experience, sort of rehashing it and then trying to boil it down and getting it tighter and tighter, because Ron had wanted a 10-minute movie, and I kind of screwed that up for him.
As you should have.
To give you one example of how things changed during the rewrite, in the first 12-page draft that I had handed to Dan, I just had this silly idea that Dan's character had something to do with catapults. I didn't really know what it was. So I wrote down, I've been playing with a catapult in the original draft. And in the rewrites, Dan took that concept of the catapult and just made that, a through line throughout the whole script. And then we got the idea that catapult maybe gets bigger over time. And, the audience doesn't know at first what the catapult is for. But then later on we find out what it's for. But so that was just one small example of how things developed over time.
And I like the idea of Davey sort of being catapulted into the dating scene. So it was almost a metaphor for his character moving too. So after the catapult, I said, can you build a large catapult? He said, we could try. And I forget the guy's name who sort of looked like Gimli from Lord of the Rings, who built the catapult.
William. Yeah, he did a fantastic job with the catapults. He built them all. The first one that he made was a little spoon, a plastic spoon with rubber bands and popsicle sticks, and so that was, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And actually, a couple of the catapults props were given away as perks to people who actually contributed on the crowdfunding. That's that without crowdfunding, this movie would not have been made. So thank you very much for that. We have Alexander Cook joining us. Alexander played a crucial role in the movie, if you remember, having to do with pea soup. And what attracted you to what were some of your memories, Mike, from Alexander from the shoot?
From my memory from the shoot is trying not to crack up over the what was going on over the table, trying to be somewhat professional. That was one of the memories. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to shoot.
Again, as I was saying, with people's sense of humor, Mike brought his own wonderful sense of humor to this. And again, I remember in the rushes, watching the rushes when we were just roughing those scenes together. I at one point I just started laughing so hard that I fell on the floor of the editing room. I couldn't even continue because it was just a look. That's all it was, and it just made me crack up so much. So I loved having your sense of humor in there as well.
Well, hating the other actors helped. Tremendous hatred I had for them.
And look how young he looks.
Yeah.
In real life,
that's
only 35.
The makeup artist, right? The makeup artist did a fantastic job.
And Allison was in that scene too, with your wife.
That's right.
Right.
It was my wife's debut.
She was excellent.
She was very good.
And you guys didn't leave for lunch halfway through the scene, so it was really good too.
Yeah.
Did the love of my life show up for the chat?
Yes, everyone that showed up so far. The only person that Toy is with us, but her screen is not. Her camera's not working. Toy, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been my audio is working, but for some reason my camera. I've been trying to reboot it's not working.
That's okay.
Apologies to everyone.
So how have people been responding? First-time viewers, I'm curious.
Well, that's and I'm glad you're bringing this up right now, Alexander, because the response to the movie over the last couple of days has just been really, really popular. I mean, people love the movie, and all the comments that we're getting are very, very positive. On particularly the fact that these are real people struggling with real issues and real problems, and yet it's done with that kind of sense of humor that everybody brings to it, which is makes the whole thing work, So I'm very, very happy how people are responding. And my impetus is to have the show extend it a little bit longer, let it go through the weekend, because I have a feeling that some of the people that are seeing it right now will tell their friends about it. And if we let it go for another couple of days, then they'll be able to see it as well. So
That's great.
Barbara, any questions for anybody, Barbara?
How is everybody holding out with COVID?
Yeah.
The obvious question. Yeah. Anybody respond to that?
I spent $700 on groceries today.
That's right.
What did you buy? What do you guys eat?
Well, it's just a shopping for like 3 weeks.
4 of us.
I did a $300 shop for for just 2. So I guess that's
Yeah.
right. I'm not doing takeout.
Problem is figuring out where to put it all.
Yeah. Well, that's the other problem. I've gained 5 pounds.
Yeah. Barbara,
that's pretty good.
Do you record in your closet, Barbara?
Yeah, I'm recording in the closet. There's my husband's clothing, everyone.
Is that where you do your auditions?
I do my auditions. I'm actually doing Source Connect now with dubbing show.
Yeah. Dubbing? So do they show a picture and you have to match the lips?
Yeah. Yep.
And you can do that remotely? Or do they bring a setup?
Remotely with a voice guy, engineer on one end, and then 2 iPads, my computer, Ethernet cable, and it's incredible. But
oh, she froze. Are we froze?
It's a little choppy.
Yeah,
you're back.
So I record in the closet, but I talk to Allison's clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, so
she
you
has
have your
more
wife's clothes. That's nice.
She has more clothes than I do. So
yeah.
So now everybody knows the real life of voice actors these days.
That's right.
You live in a closet.
Everybody's in a closet with their significant other's clothes.
she got mad at me because there was an Orville Redenbacher audition and I had to make popcorn sound effects. She says, "Why is there popcorn in my bra?"
Everywhere.
Great. Alexander, do you have any questions for anybody?
Do I have any? Oh, well, I don't know. I was.
What happened?
Both of you guys seem to talk about. I mean, the central theme of the thing seemed to be how people of a certain age, struggle with the world moving at the pace that it's moving. I was wondering if Dan or you, Ron, either one, have any recent technological things that have happened or trends that have happened that baffle you or you feel left behind in this
whole Zoom. What are we on? StreamYard? There seems to be so many different platforms and things to do that I long for the simple days of just talking to someone's telephone. Not really, but talk to a person's face would be.
Yeah. I miss seeing people in 3D.
Yeah.
Hello.
She's tired of looking at this one.
Yeah, my wife had to go take like a 6-hour drive today, basically. She said, "I'm going to go see some sequoias. Doesn't matter if the park's closed. I'm just going to drive up there." So that's what she did.
Nice.
It was a smart move, really.
But it's nice up there in Lompoc, right?
Oh, my God. I can't wait to get out of Lompoc. Lompoc. Sorry. I can't believe that you don't know how Lompoc is pronounced.
It is Lompoc, huh?
Lompoc. It means swamp. Some Native American language. Swamp.
Some good wineries there.
I want to move right here, man. Yeah, I know. Started as a temperance town, oddly enough, and now I think we're sort of the marijuana capital of Santa Barbara.
Wow.
All the other little towns said no to dispensaries. We have like 14. I mean literally 14 for this little city.
The overkill.
Yeah. Big business.
If you're going to look at a swamp, you might as well be happy.
Right. Yes. You might as well be anesthetized. So what else? TikTok? That was one that baffled me for a while. What
we haven't done it yet.
I got rid of it because I was told that the Chinese are following you. And
yes, it's
military personnel
They're
were
following
told
us on Zoom too, right?
everything.
I don't have any secrets. There's nothing to, I wish
Yeah.
I was more
We've
interesting.
We've
Yeah,
seen
my
your
life
closet,
isn't that
so there's
interesting.
nothing.
I'm just very glad that this wasn't around when I was in my 20s. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, we've loved some technology stuff because we get to see my grandson every day. My son calls, and we get to hang out with Nico, who's almost a year old now, and he's walking around. So in that regard, I like that the FaceTime technology. So that's been good. Well, I think I'm gonna bring this to a close. We've had everybody here. I want to say one other thing though, while we have people still hopefully watching us online, and that is that when we were screening this movie at film festivals, I remember, in fact, Toy was there with me that day. We were in
Asbury Park.
That's right, Asbury Park, New Jersey, at the film festival there. And I remember that it was one of the first times that a live audience had actually seen the movie. And one of the questions that came up, well, what happens now? What happens to these characters now? And we hadn't really thought about it much. But since then, that comment sort of planted the seed in my brain as to maybe we should do something more with these characters, or develop this a little further. So I approached Dan again, and I said, Dan, what do you think? And Dan was like, well, what do you have in mind? I said, well, how about a short web series, something that like 10-minute episodes, something, get back to that 10-minute timeline that we were talking about earlier.
See if we can actually crack the 10-minute nut.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Dan write 9-page scripts. Anyway,
good luck, Ron.
We talked about Davey becoming in love with technology and Ben falling out of love with technology. So
yeah, so
Davey actually gets.
So we've got some ideas for it, and we've already actually started scripting some of the work, and we've got a whole outline for our little series. So we'll keep working on that, and if you guys out there like the movie, encourage us to keep going, and we'll keep working on the short series, probably a web series or something like that. But
if you can just stop technology from changing, because every time we go back, we say, "Oh, this has changed now."
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think that this series would be great for Quibi.
Yeah, that's right.
But Quibi got kind of slammed, right? No, Quibi is now going to be long form.
I think Quibi is working on trying to find its audience. I don't know if they found it yet. Plus, they launched at a really tough time, as we know. But
actually, Ron, I don't think it's a tough time. I think it was actually the perfect time. No one, you're trapped. The only thing you can really watch if you want to watch new content is streaming content.
But how are you going to shoot it unless it's like this?
No, I'm just talking about just Quibi as a platform.
As a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the two things that you probably should try to get stock in is Zoom and Netflix.
Yeah, Zoom. Oh,
has anybody seen the Parks and Rec reboot they did, where it's all like remote like this?
Oh no! I know they're bringing back the cast for Space Force. Have you seen the ads for that? Space Force, the new series with Steve Carroll and same producers.
Alan Blumenfeld's in that.
Oh no, that's not Parks and Rec. That's The Office.
The Office, right?
Yeah,
right. Well, that's the thing is we entertainers and actors and directors are trying to figure out what to do now that it's like this, and I think some amazing solutions have come about. I've watched a few music concerts done by artists online out of their room.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing what can be done under the circumstances. So
I'm amazed by some of the TikTok things, or I guess before they were called, what were they called before TikTok? Those very, very short little narrative films, usually like a one.
Fine.
Oh yeah, that's exactly Vine. There are some amazing little pieces of filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, the incredible pace makes this point really quickly and poignantly. It's an amazing, and that's one of the things that makes me feel like a lot of how would you do that? I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Anyway, you're trying to turn this off.
Hey,
I just got here. What is it? My breath?
you know,
We got to take a 3-hour drive now, Mike.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us while we did this. I'm seeing the comments as they go through on YouTube, so folks are really responding well to everyone and love the movie. Nelda said that she thought, I think she's talking about the fact that we might want to continue working on this as a series, and she likes that idea, so that's cool. Tripp said, I cried when the dog died. And then, yes, Vines was brought up.
Maybe, or maybe the other.
Okay, guys.
I think it's Alexander's dog.
Thank you, Ron, for doing this.
Thank you, guys. I really
Bye,
appreciate
everybody.
it.
Yeah, it's great to
Bye.
see you.
Thanks, everyone.
So long now.
Bye.
Have some soup.
Bye, you guys.
How do you turn this thing off?
Thank you so much.
What, that button? No, that's not the right